Hello, it's Jeanette with Geomazing Paper Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with another video tutorial, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how I put together this stand-up calendar and post-it note holder. And it also has a little slot for your pencil, and I'm using the Noble Peacock Specialty Designer Series paper. It's a really thick paper, like cardstock, and it has a one-sided design. You see how pretty that foil design is? And you get 3 different colors when you buy this Specialty Designer Series paper. It is so beautiful. So if you want to learn how I put together this little stand-up calendar and post-it note holder, just continue watching. So to begin making our stand-up calendar, you're going to need a piece of either cardstock or this beautiful Specialty Designer Series paper from the Noble Peacock suite. It's called the Noble Peacock Specialty Designer Series paper, and I've chosen this beautiful blue. I think that is, let me check the color on that. It's called Blueberry Bushel. That is the shade of blue that we're using. And it's really shiny, so I'm sorry about all the glare on here from my lights above. But it is really pretty. It has a gorgeous little design here. And it's foiled. Very, very thick and very hardy for this project. So you're going to need a piece that measures 4 1/4 this way and 10 1/8 this way, the long way. And now I'm going to bring up my Simply Scored scoring tool. Move this here. And I'm going to start by scoring on the opposite side. And I'm going to need to score at 2 1/4. I'm also going to score at 2 1/2. Okay, and then I'm going to score at 6 1/4. Okay, now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to score this at 6 inches and also scoring it at 6 1/2 inches. Okay, so you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different score lines here, some folding one way and some folding the other. So then I'm going to turn this way, okay, so that the shorter side of the score, you've got 2 sides here. One's got a little bit longer before the score line is, and then this shorter side. You're going to put that shorter side on top, okay, because that's going to be our front. And you're going to score this at 1/4 inch all the way to the second score line, okay? And you're going to score at 1/2 inch, just to that second score line. You see that right here? I don't know if it'll show you. I'm just scoring it just to the second score line here. And then you're going to go to 3 3/4 inch and do the same thing. 3 3/4 inch, and also at 4 inches. Okay. So that's how my score lines are. All right, now what you're going to do is you have these 3 score lines on the other side. You're going to fold that right down the middle. Okay, and that would be at that 6 1/4 inch score line that you scored on the white side. And now you're going to put that fold up here, and you're going to score this at, you're just going to make like a tick mark actually, at the 1 3/4 inch and also at the 2 1/2 inch. And that is our score line to hold the pencil. Okay, and that is all the scoring that you're going to need to do. Put that scoreboard away. Okay, so I am just going to go ahead and put together the part that's going to hold the post-it note holder, or the post-it note holder part. I know what I mean. Okay, I'm going to use some paper snips. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, this is before I even fold and burnish, I'm going to go ahead and cut as straight as I can along that score line. I'm going to go right on the side of the score line, so that when you're cutting it, you don't see any of that score line there. And I'm also going to just cut on this side too, the same way, on the opposite side of that score line. So that's going to leave you this little flap. But then I'm going to cut right down the middle, because there's another score line there, just cutting that off. So now you've got even less of a flap here. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to very carefully cut on either side of those two score lines and then cut off the flap. So you're left with this little flap here. And I see that mine isn't quite even, but it's going to work out okay. So you're folding these flaps in. Now I'm going to take, and I am going to go ahead and fold these score lines in this direction here. Okay, folding it down like that, and also folding it like this, because it's going to fold up. You're going to tuck these flaps in, okay, and then it's going to fold up. We have to make sure that we got this burnished quite well here. I'm going to take my bone folder and burnish these two score lines here too. That's what I forgot to do. Okay, now we're going to take those flaps and tuck them in. And I like to leave those little flaps on there because it looks neater on the outside. And you're going to fold these in like that. Okay, and that is going to be adhered this way so that it will hold our little Post-it note. And let me see, what did I do with my little Post-it note? Okay, so here's our little Post-it note, and it's going to fit right inside right here. Okay, so I sized it perfectly for a 3 by 3 inch Post-it note. Okay, so now let's adhere these flaps down. All you're going to need to do is adhere these two little flaps. You're going to put adhesive, or actually what I'm going to use is tear and tape. Let me bring out my silicone craft sheet, and I'm going to bring out my tear and tape, and I'm just going to put tear and tape just on that last little flap on both sides. And I'm going to use my little block here with that sharp edge to help me cut that or tear that tape off. Okay, so let's put this on this side here. And it's a little bit wider than that strip, that little part here. So when I go to take the backer paper off, I'm just going to be tucking some of that glue back on itself, or that tape back on itself. See how it's just a little bit over the top. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I need to just kind of tuck it over or fold it over on itself. Okay, and I'll take the other side off. I'm using my Take Your Pick tool to pick this backer paper off. I'm just folding that over. Okay, now when I fold this, make sure to tuck those flaps in on the bottom here, these little two flaps. Okay, now when I fold that over, make sure the bottom is straight when you do that, and just try to very carefully keep it nice and straight and even on both sides. Okay, and now I've got my pocket done. Okay, now on the top part here, you made those two little tick marks. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and cut into those tick marks right up to that and into that score line right here. Okay, see that right there? Okay, and so that's going to, I'm going to poke that out like that. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this up like that and fold this one down like that. And so what we're going to have is a place for our little pencil. Grab a little pencil here. We're going to just stick our pencil right in there. Okay, oops. You know what? I got that wrong. We're going to put it this way. You got to stick it on the front side here. And so to make sure that it stays like that, I'm going to go ahead and put some tear and tape underneath these two flaps here. So that would be right here and here on this side and on that side. And that's just to make sure I'm holding those flaps down. Let's get this and remove the tape there. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you there, but it helps when I have that little pencil in here to know which flaps to fold down. There we go. Okay. And now we're folding these flaps down here, like right here. Okay. And so your pencil is going to fit right there perfectly. All right. Now to keep this from going flat like this, what I did with the little piece of the cutoff is I took this 4 1/4, and this is a 7/8 inch wide, or yeah, it's 4 1/4 long and 7/8 of an inch wide. And I'm just going to fold it in half like this, okay, kind of hiding the design. Trying to get that, you know, you don't have to really score this, you just fold it. And then I'm going to fold these flaps up where I see the design. Okay, and try to be as straight as you can. And I'll do the same on this side here, so that I have like a little M or a W, however you want to look at it. Okay, and now I'm going to put some tear and tape on either side of this, and that is to go on the inside here to hold it, to keep it from, you know, going flat. It'll only let it open so far, and that way it'll stay standing on your desk. Okay, I'm going this way, and I am going to put tape this way. A little piece on the top, a little piece by the fold. Oh, see, I ripped it. I'll just cut that little piece off right there. Okay, and now I'm just going to remove the backer paper of the tape on one side to begin with, and then I'm going to take this, and I want to make sure that the shiny side is you're looking at the shiny side when you do this. And I'm going to just eyeball the middle, and I'm going about maybe 1/8 of an inch below that fold right there. Okay, and then I'm going to take the backer paper off with my take your pick tool. And I am then going to take this and make sure that it's about 1/8 of an inch below that. Okay. And now it will only open so far and stand up. So now we're ready to decorate the front. And what I've chosen to do is put a little backer to hide some of that white of the holder part, and I'm using another little piece of the designer series paper in the old olive color. Isn't that pretty? Nice and shiny. I see, you can see it with the glare here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use some snail adhesive to adhere this, and I'm going to try to just cover as much as I can evenly on this side and this side, just leaving a little bit of white border on the top and the bottom. Get that straight. Okay, and that's what that looks like there. And now I'm going to be using, I'm going to be putting a little calendar. See how cute this little calendar is? It's actually an 18-month calendar, starting with July this month, and it goes all the way to December of 2020. So you'll be able to use this a little stand-up calendar Post-it note holder for a long time. And now you're probably going to ask me, well, how did you get that calendar? Well, actually, what I did is I designed it in a program on my computer, and I have it in PDF form. And I will give you this little PDF calendar. I will email it to you if you're one of my customers in the month of July. And if you use my Hostess code, and I'll have that Hostess code posted up here. And that's if you, whether you spend over $20 or over $150, you definitely don't want to use my Hostess code if you spend over $150, because you don't want to miss out on the rewards that you would earn. But if you spend money with me on in the month of July, I will email you the PDF. And the PDF is going to come in 2 pages. It's going to come like this. And what you'll do is rough cut it out. And I sized it perfectly so that you could use I think it's this one here. The third to the smallest of the rectangle stitch dies. And you can put that right here, and it cuts it out perfectly with just a small little white border. So I sized that just for that, to use these, and so that all your calendars are cut out perfectly. And I also put a little bit of a stronger backer on here. I used some of that backer paper from our designer series paper just to make it a little bit stronger. And I glued it on the top with some padding compound, but you can also just use regular Elmer's glue. You just hold it here with some clips, put your glue on and let it dry, and now you've got a little tablet. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just put this on with some snail adhesive. I'm going to attach it right to the front, trying to get this nice and even here. It's going to have just a very slight border on from side to side, and a thicker border from top to bottom. And of course, I don't have it perfectly even, but when you do yours, you're going to make sure yours is perfectly on there. Okay. All right, now let's design this. Let's put some designs on here. I'm going to use some Whisper White cardstock, just a little piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to use the design from the Noble Peacock, or the Royal Peacock stamp set. There's this little floral design on here. Now you can get this as a bundle, and it'll be with the die set, and you'll save 10%. So I'm going to use the detailed peacock dies, and I'm going to use these 2 little ones to cut out the flowers, and I'll make 2. And I'm really happy that Stampin' Up! Gave you 2 of these dies to make your job go a little bit quicker. So let's use I think this is the B block, and I'm going to use some Old Olive ink, and I am going to just stamp 1, and I will stamp 1 more, and we're going to take our die, both of these little dies. I'm going to take them both, and we're going to just very carefully line them up, and they line up perfectly. You don't see any whites when they line up. And that's what I really like about these new dies. They're lined up so that you'll just get a tiny white little border all around us. So I'm going to just line this one up. Hopefully my head doesn't get in the way when I do this. And I'm going to put a little bit of tape on here. And I'll take this to my Big Shot, and I will be right back. Let's close up our Old Olive. Oh, I lost one. Here it is. Okay. So now I have these 2, and I'll put these dies away. Here, putting these dies away. It's a nice little set. And that peacock is just absolutely gorgeous. I just want to show you this thing. I cased Sam Hammond from Poodles, and I made this gorgeous box with this peacock, and it just turned out beautiful. I got so many compliments on the box, and shout out to Sam. Thank you, Sam, for showing that video on how that turns out. So what I want to do is I'm just going to stand these up with some dimensional adhesive, these little dimensionals. I'm going to put one on each side. Now you can decorate these any way you want to. Put your flowers, put you can put some rhinestones, which I think I will do because I have the rhinestones from that suite. Just have to get them out. I didn't bring them over, so I'll go grab them. I'm going to put one on one side and one on the other side. Oops, let me move this over just a little bit. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist, but I know it'll look nicer if I take a little time and do it right. So let's get some rhinestones. I've got the Noble Peacock rhinestones here, and I haven't even opened these yet. Oh, look how beautiful they are. Okay, I'm going to take some rhinestones out of here, open this up, and I think I want to use these, the blue ones. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I think I might want to use the blue ones, and I'm just going to use like, I'll use the smaller ones. One for right in the middle here, and one for right in the middle here. Okay. And that kind of dressed it up a little bit better. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really pretty, and it shines really nicely. And so let's put our Post-it note in here. Okay. There we go. Isn't that cute? All right. Let's put all this away, and I think I'm done. I really like this little holder. It's gonna stay on my desk for 18 months until I put another calendar on here. But anyway, if you like this project, if you want to make it, and if you need any of the tools and supplies that I used, please go to www.geamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net. And I'll make a list in my blog and also in the description of all the tools and supplies that I used. Okay? Once again, I am Jeanette with Geamazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye-bye.